Okay, hey, that looked pretty good. Now walk me through what you did here. What's first thing you have to do? Make it equal to 0. So I'm going to add 1 to this side, right? Okay, and then I get something like that. And then we just flip the equation around. That's fine. Put the 0 on the right side instead of the left. Okay, so now we've got to use quadratic formula, right? So remember, how'd that song go? X equals... There you go. Good. Okay, so we got our quadratic formula. Now it's just a matter of plugging and chugging. So we're going to plug in values, and then we're going to simplify, right? So what goes there? -3. Good. What goes there? 3 squared. Good. So that's just 9, right? So square root of 9 minus 4 times 1. Okay, good. So, and then on the bottom we have 2 times a, so 2 times 4, right? So 8. Good. So doesn't that just give us that? Right? Inside the square root we have 9 minus 16. On the bottom we have an 8. 9 minus 16 is -7. Okay, a negative inside a square root becomes an I outside the square root. So that has to be multiplied by the square root, right? The square root of -7 is the square root of +7 times I. So there's our answer, right? -3 plus or minus the square root of 7 times I all over 8. So make sure that that division bar everything is on top of that division bar, right? And then if you want to, we could split this into separate fractions. This is kind of optional, but you could do that, right? If we wanted to. Split it into separate fractions, okay? All right, good, good. So now, for today, we're going to add just one tiny additional thing here. So there's this piece, if we look at the quadratic formula, the part of the quadratic formula that sits inside the square root is what we call the discriminant. And the reason we call it that is because the value of the discriminant, the value of b squared minus 4ac, it discriminates between the types of different solutions. It predicts the kinds of solutions that we are going to get. So can you tell me, just kind of reason through this here, if the discriminant, if b squared minus 4ac is positive, it's greater than 0, what kinds of solutions are we going to get, real or imaginary? If the number under the square root is positive? Real, right? Everybody agree? Okay, and how many am I going to get? 2. How come 2? 1 for the plus and 1 for the minus. Okay, good. So if the discriminant is positive, we're getting 2 real solutions. Okay? What if the discriminant is negative? Okay, so if the number inside the square root is negative, what kinds of solutions am I getting? Yeah, I'm getting complex numbers that have imaginary parts, so non-real, right? I'm getting I'm getting non-real, and how many? 2? Well, no. I'm getting only 2. I'm getting non-real, but what's the number I'm going to get if the discriminant's negative? How many solutions? 2. And how come 2 again? 1 for the plus, 1 for the minus. Okay, so again, if the discriminant is negative, I'm getting 2 imaginary solutions or 2 non-real solutions. Yes?
3 would be 1 solution.
Okay, so what happens if the discriminant is exactly equal to 0? If the number inside the square root is 0? Yeah, what is the square root of 0? 0. So how come I only get 1 solution? You're right, I only get 1. How come? If the discriminant is 0? Because I get negative b plus or minus 0? Are those different answers? Adding 0 and subtracting 0 gives me the same thing, doesn't it? So does everybody see that both the plus and the minus sign in this case end up giving me the very same answer? Okay. Now, is it going to be real or imaginary if the discriminant is 0? Real or imaginary? Well, I mean, what's the only way it would be imaginary? If it were negative, but it's not, it's 0. So they must be real, yeah. Or it must be real. So if the discriminant is exactly equal to 0, I get one real solution. Okay, make sense? Okay? Okay, so you tell me now, fill in the blanks. What is the discriminant? What's the formula for the discriminant? Everybody? It's just the part of the quadratic formula under the radical. B squared minus 4AC, right? That's it. That's the part underneath the square root. If the discriminant is positive, how many solutions do I get? Two. And they are both real. Okay. If the discriminant is equal to 0, show me with your fingers, everybody. How many solutions do I get? Good. I get one. Real or imaginary? Real. Good. One real. If the discriminant is negative, show me with your fingers. How many solutions do we get? Good. We get 2. And they are imaginary or non-real, or whatever you want to call it. Complex with imaginary parts. They all mean the same thing, right? Okay. So let's just try a couple of these. Now, these are, so all we want to know here is determine how many solutions and what kind of solutions are they going to be. What would I do? Okay, good. I got to get it all equal to 0, don't I? Good. So we're going to subtract 14x to the other side, and we're going to add 7 to the other side. And doesn't that just give me 7x squared minus 14x plus 7 equals 0, right? And if I want to know the number and types of solutions, what do I have to calculate? What tells me that? It's not asking for what the solutions are. I just need to know make a prediction, what kind and how many. So what do I have to calculate? Yeah, b squared minus, say it again?
B squared minus 4AC.
B squared minus 4AC, the discriminant, right? So we just have to figure out what that is. Okay, well, what is b squared minus 4AC? What's that equal to? Well, what's b? So when I'm squaring a negative, what do I always do instead?
Make it positive.
Make it positive. So I'm going to get 14 squared minus 4 times 7 times 7. Well, 14 squared is 196. 4 times 7, or 7 times 7 is 49. 49 times 4 is 4 less than 50 times 4. So that's 196. What do I get for my result? 0. So what do I get? Show me with your fingers, everybody. How many solutions are we getting? Good. 1. Real or non-real? Real. Yep. 1. Real. I like it. Okay. How about one like that? What do I do? Make it equal 0. Good. And where do I want to probably push everything this time? To the left, because I want a positive number of x squareds, right? So we're going to do this. We're going to add 4x squared to that side and subtract 2. And that's going to give us positive 4x squared. I already had a 2x over there, and I subtracted a 2. And that whole thing is equal to 0. Okay, let's calculate the discriminant. The discriminant is b squared minus 4ac. So what's b this time? 2. Good. So I get 2 squared minus 4 times 4 times. Okay, so this is an easy one. I don't need to know the value of this. It doesn't ask me what the discriminant is. I just want to predict the number and types of solutions. Everybody close up those Chromebooks all the way. So what's the sign of the discriminant guaranteed to be here? Positive. How can you tell immediately it's got to be positive? Yeah, look at that. Because when C is negative, like this, look what happens. A negative times a negative is a positive. I'm just adding up a bunch of positive numbers. Everybody see that? So the discriminant is positive, right? I don't even care what the number is. I'm not even going to calculate it. I just know it has to be positive, right? So then show me with your fingers how many solutions if the discriminant's positive. 2, I agree. Real or non-real? Real, yep. Okay, one more. How about that one? Where am I going to push everything this time? To the left, because I want a positive number of x squareds. So I'm going to subtract 3x and add 3x squared. What do I get on the left side then, everybody? Okay, 3x squared minus 3x plus what? 6, good, equals 0, good. Okay, so my discriminant, that's a 3, by the way. So my discriminant then equals what? What am I squaring? So I square positive 3, right? So that's going to give me 9 minus 4 times. Okay, what's the sign obviously going to be there? Everybody agree? I'm subtracting a big number from 9, so I'm going to end up with a negative result. Everybody agree? Don't even care what it is. I just know it's negative. Show me with your fingers. How many solutions are we going to get? 2, good. Real or non-real? Non-real, good. Okay, everybody good? Go to work. You finished the assignment from yesterday now.